Microjig, maker of the gripper. Work safer, work smarter.
Like probably a lot of you guys, I don't own a lathe. So when I want to shape something round, I need to find an alternative method to do that. And last time I made a drawer pull using the drill press and a combination of rasps. This time I'm going to make a handle for my rasp using the same process. I already made one and it came out pretty cool, and I'm going to make a second one for one more rasp. So by using a fence and a stop block clamped to the fence, I've centered my stock underneath my drill press using a brad point bit. Now I can remove this brad point bit and replace it with my tenon cutter. If you saw me make my drawer pull, you've seen me do this before. I'm just going to cut this tenon out at the bandsaw using a series of stop blocks. In order to make the turning work a little bit easier at the drawer press with the rasps, I'm going to knock off these corners off of this blank. And to do that, I took my router table fence and I tilted it backwards, and I'm using a straight cutting bit, and we'll just make a few passes knocking off these corners. After most of the corners are removed at the router table, you can come back with a hand plane and round it over even more. It's very tempting to just chalk this up into the drill press and go ahead and start rounding this over into a handle. But because this is a lot longer than the drawer pulls that we made last time, we want to stabilize the piece from the bottom if we can. So I'm going to make a little pin at the bottom, which should help support the piece from forces exerted towards the bottom portion of the handle. I've got a piece of 3/8" threaded rod, and I'm going to bring the tip of this to a point at the grinder, and then at the drill press we'll clean it up. So I went ahead and threaded this threaded rod through that undersized hole that we created in this piece of scrap wood, and I secured the underside with a nut. Now that I have this clamped on my drill press table, I need to make sure that the tip of this threaded rod is lined up with the center point of my drill press. In order to help me with that, I went ahead and chalked up a brad point bit, and we'll just move this table around until we have it exactly lined up. I shaped the top portion of the handle to hopefully squeeze a copper ferrule on top to keep it from splitting when we hammer in the rasp. Now before I raise this off of the pin and shape the bottom portion of the handle, I'm going to just give this a quick sanding. I went ahead and cut my copper ferrule to size. Now I'm going to drill a hole for the bottom portion of the rasp. But the rasp is tapered, so I'm going to drill 2 holes. I'm going to drill one hole that has a small diameter all the way down to the bottom, and I'm going to drill a second hole which has a larger diameter drill bit and only go about halfway. So after you finish turning your handle at the drill press, be careful not to drop it onto the concrete floor because you might have to spend some time reshaping the very tip of your handle like I did. Oops.